Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another Lost Ark build video. And today I'm going to be covering Scrapper. I'm going to be going over both Taijutsu and shot training and give you guys the best loadout for both builds. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to leave a like after watching the video and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Now, before we get into the video, I just want to remind you guys that if you are having trouble finding people to play with and run Vaultin or Vaultin Hard, then I'm here to tell you that Blazing Boost has the answer. Blazing Boost offers a variety of services where you can play with pros, so you don't have to risk getting scammed out of a bus run for Vaultin or Argos or whatever that kind of thing is, and there's no account sharing required. And with over 24,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, you know you're getting the best service possible. Also, for viewers of this channel, you can use code SODA5 at checkout for 5% off of your next order. So go ahead and check out Blazing Boost via the link in my description, and thanks to them again for sponsoring this video. Now, moving on, let's start off with Taijutsu. This is the class engraving that focuses on your yellow skills, and what the class bonus does is increase the natural stamina gauge recovery, as well as increase the skill damage for yellow skills and decreases the damage for green skills. Before I get into the stats and skills and everything like that, I just want to make a point that a lot of things about Taijutsu Scrapper are actually all personal preference. So if you like having more swiftness than crit, the crit to swift ratio, that's completely up to you. Some of the tripod choices, again, up to personal preference, your rune usage, all of those things, there's really no 100% correct answer to everything. So you can feel free to experiment and, you know, twist the info that I'm giving you right now. The information that I'm giving you is what I have personally found success with, and also the information that I've gathered from other high-level Scrapper players and from observing what the top Korean Scrapper players do and trying to adjust it to the content that we have available in the game. With all of that in mind, I recommend that you guys go 1300 crit and 700 swiftness for your stats. And that is because at 1300 crit, you have 45% crit chance. Combine that with the 15% from the Argos 2-piece or the Entropy 4-piece set, plus the 10% that you get from doing back attacks, which you should be doing on this class, you get 70% crit chance, which equals out to 18% increased damage from Keen Blunt Weapon, which we are going to be running. And even if you do miss a back attack or you have a lower stack count from your Argos 2-piece set, you will still be above 60% crit chance, which means that you will have the full Keen Blunt Weapon effectiveness. Now, moving on to your skills, you're going to want to use Crushing Smite or Fierce Tiger Strike as your synergy skill, as long as you choose the Amplified Damage tripod. For your counter, you also have two choices. You can use either Instant Hit with Stamina Control, Counter Effects, and Tracking Instinct, or you can use Roundup Sweep with Swift Preparation, Madman, and Reinforced Strike. For the rest of your skills, you're going to want Charging Blow with Furious Strike, Ruthless Advance, and Steel Fist, Dragon Advent with Moment of Truth, Conflagration Attack, and Great Destruction, Earthquake Chain with Undying Power, Power Strike, and Powerful Earthquake, Battering Fist with Capture Opportunity, Red Explosion, and Berserk, Iron Cannon Blow with Overflowing Power, Quick Prep, and Advanced Movement, and finally Death Rattle with Quick Prep, Single Hit, and Shock Explosion. Out of all of these skills, the most important tripods are Capture Opportunity, Red Explosion, and Berserk for Battering Fists, Shock Explosion or Single Hit from Death Rattle, Overflowing Power, and Advanced Movement for Iron Cannon Blow. Now, there are a lot of tripods that are actually pretty important. They increase your damage overall, pretty much all of them do. However, these are the ones that give you the most bang for your buck in terms of tripod levels. So these are the ones that get the biggest gain from going from level 1 to 2 and etc. So please keep an eye out your other tripods, but if you just got to 1370 or something and you want to get some quick levels on your tripods, these are the ones that I recommend. For your awakening, you're going to want to use Mysterious Art Blast of Ruination. This one does more damage the closer you are, and you are always going to be super close range because that's how this class plays. So this ends up being a pretty good choice. It does a lot of stagger and a lot of damage. For your runes, again, keep in mind you can change these up a little bit depending on what you prefer, but I recommend running Rage on Charging Blow, Bleed on Dragon Advent, Gale Wind on Death Rattle, Iron Cannon Blow, and Battering Fists, Overwhelm on Earthquake Chain and Crushing Smite, and Quick Recharge on Roundup Sweep. Or if you're using Instant Hit, you can slot it with a Protection Rune. For your gems, you're going to want a CDRN Damage Gem for Dragon Advent, Earthquake Chain, Battering Fist, Iron Cannon Blow, and Death Rattle, and finally a Damaging Gem for Charging Blow. For your gear sets at 1370, you're going to want to run 5-piece Preordained. At 1415, you can swap to 4-piece Demon Beast and 2-piece Preordained. And then at 1445, or the current content that we have as of the upload of this video, you can can run 2-piece Salvation, 2-piece Entropy, and 2-piece Preordained. And finally, at 1460 plus, you're going to want to run 6-piece Entropy. For your engravings, at first you're going to want Taijutsu 3 and Adrenaline 1, and then once you get to legendary accessories, you're going to want Taijutsu 3, Grudge 3, Ambush Master 3, and Adrenaline 1. And finally, at relic accessories, you're going to want Taijutsu 3, Grudge 3, Ambush Master 3, Keen Blunt 3, and Cursed Doll 3. If you're one of those people that prefer having more swiftness than crit on Taijutsu, then just replace Cursed Doll for Adrenaline. And finally, for your cards, you're going to want Lost Wind Cliff early on, and later you're going to want to swap to Light of Salvation. Now moving on to Shock, this one focuses on your green skills rather than yellow. What this class engraving actually does is increase your shock skill damage by 20%, and you naturally recover 4% of your shock gauge over time. For your stats, you're going to want as much spec as possible, and what I recommend to reach that full Keen Blunt weapon effectiveness is to run 1300 spec and 700 crit. For that, you're going to want a spec crit necklace, a crit ring, and the rest of your accessories with spec. This will give you 24% crit rate from your stats, combined with the 15 from the adrenaline we're going to run and the 10% from the back attacks, and the other 15% from the Arcos 2-piece set or the 4-piece Entropy. That leaves you at 68% crit chance. For your skills, you're going to want Charging Blow with Focus, Ruthless Advance, and Steel Fist this time, Crushing Smite, and Fierce Tiger Strike with Amplified Damage and Focus, as these are going to be your main shock meter generators, as well as your synergy skills, of course. For your counter, you're going to want to use Roundup Sweep this time with Swift Preparation, Madman, and Reinforce Hit, Chain Destruction Fist for your DPS skills with Endless Rage, Tenacity, and Great Explosion, Death Rattle with Quick Prep, Single Hit, and Shock Explosion, Supernova with Quick Prep, Piercing Strike, and Spinless Hit, and finally True Rising Fist with Refined Skill, Objective Hit, and Dragon's Fury. Out of all of these, your most important tripods are Great Explosion for Chain Destruction Fist, Dragon's Fury and Objective Hit for True Rising Fist, Shock Explosion, Single Hit, and Quick Prep for Death Rattle. And like I said, there's a lot more tripods that you need to get, but these are just to get you started. For your Awakening, you're going to want to use the same one, Mysterious Heart, Blast of Ruination. It's the same type of playstyle, you're still playing Scrapper, you're still very close range, so you're still going to want to use the same Awakening. For your runes, you're going to want to use Gale Wind on Chain Destruction Fist, Death Rattle, True Rising Fist, and Supernova, Rage on Crushing Smite and Fierce Tiger Strike, Bleed on Charging Blow, and Quick Recharge on Roundup Sweep. For your gems, you're going to want a Damage and CDR gem for True Rising Fist, Chain Destruction Fist, Death Rattle, and Supernova, and a Damage gem for Charging Blow and Roundup Sweep. That actually totals out to be 10 gems, so you actually have one free slot for whatever you prefer. If you prefer a CDR gem for Roundup Sweep or Charging Blow, or something else randomly, or none, you know, that's also up to you. For your engravings, at first you're going to want Shock Training 3 and Adrenaline 1, and then once you get to Legendary Accessories, you're going to want Shock Training 3, Grudge 3, Ambush Master 3, and Adrenaline 1. And finally, at Relic Accessories, you're going to want Shock 3, Grudge 3, Ambush Master 3, Keen Blunt 3, and Adrenaline 3. As for your gear sets, you're following exactly the same pattern. You're going to go 5-piece Preordained at 1370, 4-piece Demon Beast and 2 Preordained at 1415, 2-piece Salvation, 2-piece Entropy, and 2-piece Preordained at our current content, which is 1445. And finally, once you're 1460, you can go for 6-piece Entropy. And your cards, once again, you're going to want Lost Wind Cliff early on, and later on you're going to want to swap to Light of Salvation. Well guys, that is my Scrapper guide. I put a lot of research into this build. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought, or if you have any questions, and be sure to check out my previous videos that I've uploaded in case you guys need some guidance, or maybe you're confused about how to build characters. Those videos are a great example of that. But other than that guys, I will catch you in the next one. Have a great week.